Welcome to Our Issues Birmingham. For the third time, we have as our guest Mr. Nick Sellers, the chief executive, I suppose would be the way to say it, for the World Games 2022. A big deal, I might add. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you for having me, Tommy. Good to be back.
Yes, by the time this show runs, we will be right upon the games. And I drive underneath the Red Mountain Expressway almost daily, and I watch the countdown clock. I think we're in the 50-something days on the day that we're taping as we speak right now. And since the last time we've spoken, I'm sure plans have been solidified, and they're still moving forward and being solidified. But what's been going on? Just tell us.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we're really in final execution mode now, Tommy. I mean, we're every day has a key milestone that we're looking to hit. We're finalizing all of the travel for the 3,600 athletes from over 110 countries now that'll be competing for gold medal in these games. That's a huge undertaking. The Athletes Village, which will be at UAB in Birmingham Southern, they're finalizing all of the preparations for that. We've announced, as you all know, our security plan, and that with the great benefits of Homeland Security and FBI and Secret Service and all of the security around our venues to make it very safe for families. There obviously comes some burdens. One of those is in the perimeter, in the downtown perimeter area around the BJCC, Protective Stadium, Boutwell Auditorium area, you won't be able to park really within 4 blocks of opening ceremony. Now, some people will choose to do that, and that's great. But we recognize not everybody will want to walk 4 blocks in the late afternoon heat in July. And for the first time ever, we're announcing a new way of getting around downtown for big events. It's the World Games Transit Line, Ride the Line. It's simple, it's fast, it's free, and it's efficient. 4 separate lines, 4 separate colors, the green line, the blue line, the red line, and the yellow line. And what it allows for is for patrons and friends in our community and people who want to come to enjoy these World Games in downtown to park in the entertainment areas, Tommy. So around 2nd Avenue Restaurant District, Railroad Park, Lakeview, Avondale area for around the PNC parking lot and others. You can park, jump on these shuttles. They'll run every 10 minutes or so, drop you off right at the hub of the Regions World Games Plaza, which is the new City Walk, get you to all the fun, all the excitement, and then back to your car very safely and efficiently.
Well, from the World Game Plaza, it's a short walk, correct?
You're in Uptown. You're in the party zone when you're at the plaza.
So underneath the interstates there where the parks are being built and the lights are changing underneath there. It looks great at night.
Yeah.
I love the lighting. So don't try to do like I always do and get a parking spot right in front of Protective Stadium. That ain't happening.
It's not happening. In fact, to get inside the perimeter zone, you'll have to have a credentialed pass it's usually for our volunteers and our workers, and they'll do a search of the vehicle. So for people who are working in downtown in the perimeter, the security zone for those 10 days, we'll make sure they're credentialed with parking to get to their business and back. But when you get outside of the perimeter area, so Hoover Met, Oak Mountain for water ski jumping and wakeboarding, Barber Motorsports for canopy piloting, Sloss Furnaces for parkour and sport climbing and beach handball and breakdancing, the Crossplex, you won't have to deal with that as much. You can park really relatively close to the venues. You'll walk in like you would to go to a sporting event for SEC or a SEC championship. You will have to go through the magnetometers. We'll have a clear bag policy that we're promoting, but it's going to be a ton of fun.
Concession-wise, what should we anticipate?
Well, at Protective Stadium, I think you'll be
I'm speaking
pleased.
Primarily of Protective Stadium.
Obviously early on, they've had some challenges at Protective Stadium if you've been there. Some pretty long lines in the concession area. And we've worked very closely with the BJCC and their leadership team, with Center Plate, who is the concessionaire there, the food and beverage partner, and they're working out the kinks, but they have given us every assurance that from having staff that walk down into the venues that are selling the hot dogs and the Coca-Colas and the beer and things like that, it'll be safer and easier to get something, but also the lines will be much more efficient.
Are you having issues with volunteers? Do you still need volunteers? Can we help
we're
you
very,
get
very close now. We
volunteers?
have over 3,000 volunteers already signed up.
Great.
So I think we would still welcome anybody who wants to participate, bring their families or themselves, and be a part of this very historic moment for our community. If they go to twg2022.com and click on volunteers, there's still some opportunities. But we've been very pleased. I personally have been really grateful to see the outpouring of support from people all over the state, even out of state, who are volunteering, choosing to be a part of this and helping us put on this incredible show. And they're getting a lot of swag and fun stuff to do as a part of their volunteer opportunity.
Yeah, I noticed that the Elton B. Stevens Expressway was getting a haircut, so to speak, starting to look a lot nicer than it did before. And I'm sure the World Games and the Stevens family, I think, had something to do with making that happen. So
can't say enough great things about the Stevens family and EBSCO and Claude Nielsen and what he's doing. They've come together. Claude's helping with a cleanup project all along the horizontal area, and the Stevens family are doing everything vertical. But to see Red Mountain Expressway looking beautiful again is right on time.
Well, don't leave us. We're going to talk about some other things when we come back from break. This is Our Issues Birmingham. We'll be right back with Nick Sellers. Don't go away. Welcome back to Our Issues Birmingham. Nick Sellers is telling us about what's coming up with the World Games 2022 right here in Birmingham, Alabama, which is a big deal. You may not realize it, but it is a big deal. And I can't say that enough because, we live out in the suburbs and we don't really have an appreciation for how large an event this is and how fortunate Birmingham is to be hosting it. So we've got some entertainment. I have my tickets to opening ceremonies. What am I in store for?
You're in store for something epic. Tommy, we've never seen anything like this in the state of Alabama. This is a over 90-minute extravaganza, and it'll have all of the pomp and circumstance that you would expect from an Olympic opening ceremony, from the parade of athletes from 110 nations coming in, led by our honorary co-chairs, including Charles Barkley, Noah Galloway, Randy Owen, Kat Reddick, Alan Hunter, and Vanetta Flowers. It's going to be incredible. And there will be an American flag that is running from the U.S. Capitol. It's on its way. And on opening ceremonies night at 8:05 p.m., much like Coach Nick Saban, when he pulls his team from the locker room and heads down that tunnel, you'll see American military hero Noah Galloway carrying that same American flag that thousands of veterans have been carrying from Washington, D.C. through our nation's heartland. And he will be running at that final distance into opening ceremonies with Mayor Randall Woodfin and the president and CEO of Airbus Alabama, Darrell Taylor, and the founder of Team Red, White, and Blue, an organization that represents thousands of our military veterans. His name is Mike Irwin. They will run that flag into opening ceremonies through Uptown. The crowd will begin to roar as they get closer. Sarah Evans will be singing America the Beautiful. And then Yolanda Adams will be singing our national anthem as that flag makes its way in. It's going to be an incredible moment. And then opening ceremonies begins when a guy named Hunter Cowald, he was the Green Goblin in the latest Spider-Man movie. He's the human drone. He calls himself the Sky Surfer. This guy will be dressed like Bootsy Collins, and he will fly over the side of the stadium and the stage, and he'll land on the main stage. He leaves, the real Bootsy Collins appears, obviously. Everybody thinks it's Bootsy Collins. I'm giving you the secret. And the show starts, and Bootsy takes 4 beautiful young ladies on a tour of immersive tour and experience of Birmingham's past, present, and future with these big acts like Nelly and Alabama and so many others, Pastor Mike J, Sarah Evans, who will be performing in opening ceremonies. And then we will see the final presentation on the Grammys stage, our partnership with the Grammys. And you know the Grammys, that's where the greatest performers in the world are recognized for their musical prowess.
I don't have one, but one day.
Yeah, I don't either. But they'll be with us as a partner, and the performance will be on the Grammy stage. It'll be huge. Now, closing ceremonies, can I talk to you about that?
Sure.
So on July the 17th, man, it's the send-off of the century. It will be the biggest sing-along in the history of the state of Alabama. It's the icons of Alabama music, from Taylor Hicks, Bo Bice, and Reuben Studdard, who've never performed together on the same stage, to Jamie Johnson, the country music star, and the Blind Boys of Alabama singing a duet, to Pastor Mike J, the gospel music star. Martha Reeves will be singing Dancing in the Street. She's from Alabama. And then finally, our very own Alabama, Randy Owen and the band Alabama will be singing My Home's in Alabama and other great hits. And they will hand it off to the American Idol global icon, coming home for the first time in over 2 decades, Lionel Richie.
Ooh.
So from his greatest hits of Dancing on the Ceiling and All Night Long, Lionel will close us out in an epic, epic finale. And I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. There'll be some other special guests at Lionel's invitation that will be joining that evening. A huge send-off as we celebrate 10 days of incredible sport competition and really help to celebrate this new Birmingham as an international sports city.
Well, I will be candid with you that when you went through that litany of performances, chill bumps came over my arms as we speak. I've been singing all night long since I heard the announcement that Lionel was coming back to town to perform. So I think that's just absolutely fantastic. When you say Grammy stage, what does that mean? They're going to bring the Grammy stage here? I'm thinking physical. The Grammy stage. What are you using that to describe?
Yeah, it means what you would think it means. The Grammys annual award show have never taken their stage outside of their annual event. This is the first time ever that they will be bringing their production. Obviously, it's world-class production to a city for a special event, and they're working with our production team on what you will see is an incredible extravaganza of this performance on this stage. The Grammys logo will be present. So the same type of production you see in an annual Grammy show, you will see at opening ceremony, Protective Stadium presented by Alabama Power. And it's just going to be huge. There's also going to be a 300+ drone presentation during the middle of these ceremonies. These drones can do everything, including QR codes in the middle of their performance. It'll be one of those total immersive experiences that we've never seen before.
So when you're saying that about the Grammy stage, they're backing it up, putting it on some trucks, bringing it here and setting it back up, just like it would be if it were happening at the Grammys.
That's right.
Except it's going to be happening in Protective Stadium.
Yeah.
Well, I think there should be some fireworks connected to that. Literally, I'm talking about.
There will be.
I'm going to take a break. Don't leave me. I know we've got some things left on our plate. This is Our Issues Birmingham. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back to Our Issues Birmingham. Nick Sellers, the World Games 2022 is upon us. Now we've talked about all the fun things. Let's talk about the sports themselves. What are we going to see?
Yeah, Tommy, that's really what everybody is coming for, and that's to see these incredible athletes.
I'm coming for the entertainment, actually.
Well, you will be entertained by these sporting events too, I promise you.
Isn't there like a mini sumo wrestler or something event?
Yeah, really good. There's sumo, as we all know, we're used to thinking about, obviously, the very large athletes, and we're thinking about generally Japanese sumo wrestlers because that's where it originated. Actually, Ukraine has got a world champion as well that will be competing in the heavyweight division. But there's also a lightweight division, and there's a guy named Trent Sabo. He calls himself the sexy sumo wrestler. He's 195 pounds in the lightweight division, and he's a truck driver. And he's won 2 bronze medals. This is his chance to win gold in his home country, to win this thing right here. This is the gold medal. I think I've showed it to you before. It's beautiful. And these medals will adorn probably the trophy cases or the fireplaces or mantles or the walls of
Mr.
athletes around the world. Very special. So
Mr. T
it's
would
not
be
just
proud.
the sports we know, like sumo and Muay Thai and kickboxing and karate and gymnastics, acrobatic and trampoline, dance sport. It's also sports, Tommy, you may have never heard of before, like parkour. Man, Sloss Furnaces is going to be a place that you want to be. We're going to call it the world's largest sports party. It's got parkour, which is like these incredible acrobats that are going through an obstacle course, sport climbing, and sport climbing is now a full Olympic sport. It's the last time it'll be in the World Games. Beach handball, which is like 21st century volleyball. It's really fun to watch, high energy, fast paced. And then finally, breakdancing. It's known globally as breaking, and it's a lot of fun to watch. And that'll be all 4 of those will be at Sloss Furnaces.
You know, my head is spinning with all of these events that are going on. So as a consumer, how will I get the information of where I want to go to see what I want to see?
Yeah.
If I'm at home and I turn on something, I mean, I need to know through some electronic means or some TV telling me how do I get from A to B to see what I want to see. I know how to get there, but is there a communication link so we know?
And the easiest and fastest way to do it, and we're going to be advertising this quite a bit, is to go to twg2022.com. When you go to that website, twg2022.com, if you go from your phone, click on that bottom part of your smartphone where it says Save to My Home Screen, and it turns into essentially an app, a web app. And when you touch that web app and open it up, it's very simple and easy to have the schedule of the day's events. It'll have things to do around town, transportation and where to go to park, things of that nature, and very easy ways to click on the link and buy tickets.
Okay.
Well, we expect a pretty big walk up as well in terms of buying tickets. And so if you see an event you want to go to, a sporting competition you want to go to, if it's not sold out yet, and we'll communicate that, all you got to do is take your phone like you do at the restaurants and hit the QR code, take a pic, open your camera up. It'll take you right to the ticketing page to buy a ticket. Tickets are about $25 on average for these sporting events, very affordable.
Speaking of $25 and the economics of things, I'm sure people have talked about the economic impact this event will have on our city in so many different ways, hotels, restaurants. I know I'm missing some, but I know there are others. Are there some projections on what those numbers might be?
There are. To date, we've sold right around 400,000 tickets.
Wow.
We've sold tickets in over 40 countries. And we still have a goal to sell another 100,000 tickets. And we think we can do that between now and closing ceremonies. But with over 500,000 fans and guests spending money in and around the greater Birmingham area, whether they're people that live here or people that are coming in from outside of the state of Alabama. And we expect well over 150,000 guests to be here from the Southeast and from around the world. That economic impact, according to the Convention and Visitors Bureau, is over $250 million. That's 10 days of people spending money and hopefully helping our tax base. And then, going back home for the most part, those that are here from out of town, it's just going to be a really great opportunity for Birmingham.
Is there a plan for the aftermath?
Well, my first plan is to take my bride on a 25th wedding anniversary that we'll be spending working during the World Games.
No.
But after that, hopefully it really sets Birmingham up to do bigger things. Birmingham is about to bid on the World Rugby Championships, which is huge. And we would have never been on the radar of something like that, but for these World Games.
Well, I was thinking of, 500,000 people can leave quite a mess. Uh, hopefully
Indeed,
we have that
I'll be
covered.
honest with you. The city of Birmingham, Mayor Randall Woodfin, they are stepping up in so many ways, and they even have a plan around all of that, around how we're going to take care of guests when they're here, and then how we're going to make sure that our city continues to look beautiful even after they're gone. There's the Gateway Project. It's a cleanup project from the airport, the off ramps and on ramps of 65, 2059, and Red Mountain Expressway. It's going to be a beautification project. I think it's going to set us up to really feel good and have pride in ourselves going forward.
Is Legion Field being used for any event?
Oh, yeah. Flag football presented by the NFL, men's and women's, will be at Legion Field, and it'll be on the NFL Network, Tommy.
Wow. Well, I'm pumped. And I think this show will get more people pumped. Thank you a lot for being with us. I'm all for you, and I'm going to be there. So I probably won't run into you, but don't forget it, folks. World Games 2022. Get the app, get the tickets, show up. Thank you, Nick, and I'll talk to you soon. This is Our
Thanks
Issues.
for having me, my friend.
You're very welcome. This is Our Issues Birmingham. We'll see you next Sunday.